the Liberty Podcast with Clint Armitage. We are proclaiming liberty one show at a time, and the next one starts right now. All right, what's up, everybody? Clint Armitage Liberty Podcast. We are in the final episode of the series that we're in, entitled The Signs of Judgment. So this is part 10, and we're going to be looking at Harbinger number 9. Now, Harbinger number 9, it goes along with Harbinger number 8, the one we talked about in the last podcast. That one was called the Utterance, and this one is called the Prophecy. But it's the same thing, just done by different people. Again, the last one was called the Utterance, and that was by Senator John Edwards, uttering the verse in Isaiah 9:10. He uttered the verse at prayer breakfast on September 11th, 2004. Okay, so Jonathan Cahn put that as the 8th Harbinger, as the Utterance. Now, this one's called the Prophecy, and the reason why it's called the Prophecy is because Senator Tom Daschle actually proclaims this verse now. The same verse, Isaiah 9:10. And when Senator John Edwards did it at the prayer breakfast, all he did was say it. He didn't break it down. He didn't proclaim it. He didn't prophesy. He didn't say, this is what we're going to do. So that's just the utterance. Now, Senator Tom Daschle, he actually proclaimed it. And then he broke it down and said, we are going to do this. And so that's why this one is called the Prophecy. And it's the exact same thing Israel did, the northern kingdom there in Samaria, the leaders in Samaria did after that strike, that first strike by the Assyrians. So he prophesied it. Well, I should say the Israelites prophesied it, said, this is what we're going to do. And that's how they said it, and that's how it was relayed in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 10. And so we are seeing that again here with the United States of America, with Tom Daschle doing this the day after 9/11. So this was done September 12th, right after the strike, right after 9/11, on September 12th, Congress met, and this is what he said. He said the vow, or the prophecy of Isaiah. He repeated it over, and this time it was a proclamation. And so let's listen to the excerpt regarding this last Harbinger as we break it down and comment and do a commentary on it after. All right, listen in.
And the 9th Harbinger. The prophecy, I replied. The vow was not only a declaration, but a prophecy of things yet to come. And by appearing in Isaiah chapter 9, it became part of a prophecy of national judgment as well as a matter of national record. So the vow was spoken not only by a national leader and in the capital city, but as a prophecy of what was still to come and as a matter of national record. And to America. On September 12, 2001, I answered, the very day after the calamity, the American Congress gathered on Capitol Hill to issue its response to 9/11. The man charged to present that response was the Senate Majority Leader, Tom Daschle. As he reached the conclusion of his address, he said, there is a passage in the Bible from Isaiah that I think speaks to all of us at times like this. The bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with dressed stone. The fig trees have been felled, but we will replace them with cedars. So on the day after 9/11, the nation's response was exactly the same as the response of ancient Israel in the wake of the ancient calamity, the first strike of judgment. Daschle spoke of the fallen tree without knowing that there actually existed a tree struck down at the corner of Ground Zero that answered to the tree in the vow. He spoke of the rebuilding with the Gazit stone, which would be fulfilled 3 years after he spoke it. And he spoke of the planting of the Erez tree, an act that would manifest 2 years after he proclaimed it. From Capitol Hill and before the United States Congress, the nation and the world, the Senate Majority Leader uttered the same words on the day after 9/11 that the leaders of ancient Israel had uttered in the days after their calamity, word for word. And without having any idea what he was doing, he connected the calamity of 9/11 with the calamity of ancient Israel, the opening moment in the judgment of a fallen nation. And so, on the day after 9/11, and from Capitol Hill, the leader of the United States Senate unwittingly pronounced judgment on America.
Okay, so yeah, this is, for me, this is probably the strongest harbinger out of all of them, other than Isaiah 9:10 itself, the whole, premise of this. But this is where the rubber really meets the road here, because we have in Israel, I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode, but we have a leader of America, a political leader. And now, though, the day after 9/11, this is September 12th now, 2001, Joint Congress meets, and they basically condemn the terrorist attacks. And it's mainly the Senate Majority Leader. It's Tom Daschle. He's standing up there and he's condemning in his speech on the floor of Congress. He is condemning the attacks, right? And saying America will stand against these attacks and condemn it. And then he talks about the victims. He kind of goes through what happened that day. Well, he also mentions the judgment, the vow, but this time it's actually proclaimed. And he goes through his speech, and towards the end, this is what he says. I'm going to read it from the actual document here, and I'll put the link to the actual document of his speech from Congress. It's on congress.gov. I will put the link in the description of this episode. Okay, here goes. He says this at the end here. Nothing can replace the losses that have been suffered. I know there is only the smallest measure of inspiration that can be taken from this devastation. But there is a passage in the Bible from Isaiah that I think speaks to all of us at times such as this. The bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with dressed stone. The fig trees have felled, but we will replace them with cedars. That is what we will do. We will rebuild and we will recover. The people of America will stand strong together because the people of America have always stood together. And those of us privileged to serve this great nation will stand with you. God bless the people of America. Okay, that's the end of his speech. Then he yields to the floor. Now, this is where it all is like coming together here, because that is a proclamation, and he actually repeated, and he said, this is what America will do. Now, he's a leader in the Senate, right? And so this is during Congress's meeting here, okay? This is a joint meeting of Congress, and he is proclaiming it, and then it becomes a matter of record. It becomes a matter of record for the United States. That's why I can still find it, and that's why it's on congress.gov. So what we have here is so, if you say it's a coincidence, I don't know how this could be coincidental. It's so specific. It matches exactly what happened in Israel years back, in ancient Israel. So it's very difficult for me to believe that, this was just, coincidence, and he just picked it out of the Bible. He just picked this passage. And, he may not have known that this was actually a curse. And so he was trying to proclaim it as we are strong. And that's what happens too when tragedies happen. Cities and counties and states or whatever say, we're this strong, something happens, we're strong. Well, what about humbling ourselves? What about humbling ourselves and saying, God is strong. God is what we need, is who we need. But we don't do that. And so I think this is the strongest harbinger. And so with this, I believe that these harbingers are the signs of the beginning of judgment. And we're still not going in the right direction in America. So we need to change our ways. We need to repent as a nation, individuals, and then as a nation. Well, that's my take on this whole thing. Thanks for joining me. That was the book review of The Harbinger by Jonathan Cahn. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get into something else next time. So until then, stay safe, stay motivated, and keep seeking liberty. Take care now. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Liberty Podcast with Clint Armitage. If you want to get in touch, email us at info@clintarmitage.com.